in this particular matchup as Labrov, oh my goodness, a last pick Brad to come on through here, or Bard if you want to pronounce it correctly. And alongside the Yunara, they could get some things done here in this early stage of the game. As, of course, double range going to make that Caitlyn feel a little bit less oppressive.
Yeah, definitely, this composition from MKOI feels like an MKOI summer draft, where it's much more about their 1-3-1, playing through sides.
Yoya poking his nose in, but doesn't find too much more as the Monkey King will head back towards the Fog of War. Unintentional rhyme, but I did kind of like it. Oh dear. Okay, Moen going to move in. There is that counter-strike that we were talking about, and already Skumon's dead, first blood! And we said the early game was... I wasn't expecting it this early! Moen is just going to be getting out of that top side. Does he take another wave? That's the big question, as passive going to get procced here by Caps, but...
Skumon, though, tends to be more of a, hey, I'm going to try and farm it up and get to a position where post-level 6 I can make things happen as Mirwin.
The flash forward, Hansama's here though. Moen picks up turret aggro. Oh no, the Slurkle is his demise. That's the most value out of that ability I have ever seen. And that is going to be the first kill back here for G2 as Chains are going to connect towards Jojo. Caps pops back towards the distortion though.
As MKOI, a lot of members hovering around mid.
Yeah, Elioya able to get himself over there. The flash pulverize comes in. Phenomenal shove comes down as well as Caps gives himself away by distorting. Still gonna have to try and do some funny business to escape Elioya, but he finds an Nimbus Strike and down goes Caps. A second kill for MKOI on the table now. It is just Moen moving back towards his outer turret on the top side. Threaded volley comes in. We'll see where the Caps can land the chains. Does connect them here as Skumon's making his way in as Elioya biding his time. Finds the Cyclone here onto the LeBlanc. Another shove from Jojo. This guy finding his targets whenever he wants to, and that's going to be Feats of Warfare locked down by MKOI already here at 7 minutes into the game. Hansama doesn't quite find the Arc of Ruin as Moen's able to get himself out.
The talking points all coming off of that final series was the fact that Skumon and Labrov had found their synergy.
Yeah.
It's not looking so great. Although Labrov!
The flash in, going flash for flash with the Taliyah feels pretty good as Labrov here, making that one work out. As we know, about 1 minute into the game was in fact when that happened. Magical Journey delivers. Labrov finds a Tempered Fate here onto the cow. Weaver's Wall comes in though, and is going to block 2 of them off, and now it's Alvaro going down to start this one off. Hansama in a little bit of trouble. Flashes out of the way of the seismic shove and eliminates Elioya as well. That is such a huge shutdown going over to the main carry of G2.
Doesn't feel comfortable going far enough forward. And then Skumon jumping in to make sure he can get that knock-up on towards Elioya.
Oh, man.
And stops it all.
Real rough there as well. It was so close for Jojo to try and get that kill onto Hansama, but he survives. And there is a solo kill for Broken Blade in the top lane. I thought it was just top lane things, but he was just killing him. And Jojo wasn't the one to pick up the kills, right? It was Elioya that collected those. It's what is now given Hansama an advantage as well, as Super does also have to use his flash here in this mid lane. It's G2. I have to just use the connected one. It's okay, now Jojo could be in a little bit of trouble. Tempered Fate comes down, and Hansama waiting to try and get the damage in, but Alvaro, he's waiting as well. Another shove is going to connect, but Hans is so scary, has the barrier, uses it so well to take down Jojo. Now Alvaro, he does have Elioya coming in. Finally, the Nimbus Strike is going to come on down. Not enough from the Cosmic Binding there, and down will go this Yunara. And actually getting the shutdown back as he gets a killing spree. Does clear out the entirety of the minion wave, as now Jojo in trouble once again. And Caps is gonna pop back in, gets himself the redemption heal as well. And it's another trip home in Jojo's future. Meanwhile, I mean, they just don't stop fighting. Let's have a look at this one in the river as well, as Alvaro able to keep Hansama busy for a while, but even through the Unbreakable Will, he's going to break him. Skumon takes down the cow, and thankfully, the gentleman in the bottom lane did stop killing each other, so I didn't have to worry about that one.
So you kind of have to make a play on towards Hansama, but Labrov is just sitting as his own little ward to make sure you can't.
Mimic Distortion comes down as Caps is going to be able to chain up this Taliyah. Seismic Shove goes wide, and Jojo is just going to get exploded. Labrov comes in with a meep slap, and that one's real dangerous as Alvaro escapes out of the Tempered Fate, but unfortunately now he's in the hands of Hansama, who will find that Arc of Ruin, and Caps steals away the kill, finally on the board here for the mid laner of G2. Losing this Otacon for free is not really for the best. You know, I'm putting that in the cons column pretty comfortably, and there it does go. No answer here as the teleport towards the top side of the map. They're looking to try and push this Jax away. Doesn't have a whole lot of the blue stuff here as well, as Broken Blade looking real aggressive. There's a leap strike flash out there from Moen, but the flash to follow from Broken Blade, and he's not able to get over that wall. Blast Cone for the disengagement. Caps is going to find him. The double distortion is enough, but Elyoya is going to be there. Caps needs a big amount of funny business, but unfortunately, you can't outplay that, as the bullet is going to weave on in and take down the LeBlanc. Yeah, Slurkle not going to do too much here. Is Jojo going to get chained up? Caps just immediately out of there, and man, he is being frustrating here to MKOI as the wall comes on through. Lebrov not able to get on over, doesn't have the magical journey either, is now Broken Blade in amongst 4 people, but he kind of likes it from what I can see here, as it's pretty difficult to get very much damage to stick, and Lebrov getting himself into position. Hansama now free hitting. Hasn't pressed that R button just yet, holding on to that one for when this fight really starts, and it hasn't quite erupted just yet.
MKOI looks scared. They don't want to take the fight, and it means they're just getting the poke from G2.
Yeah, Moen in so much trouble, gets the 3rd Q, and Broken Blade is able to help put him in the ground. So Moen not going to be here for this fight. That should be soul point going over to G2. MKOI are going to back away. I mean, it's what they have to do, but man, giving this up is just a disaster.
MKOI just didn't want to take the fight, and they gave Caps so much time to get the poke they wanted. As Elyoya now.
They get the Cyclone out as well, as Broken Blade just goes in, all out, comes on forward. Alvaro now with the unbreakable will, but it's looking a bit more breakable than you'd otherwise expect based on the name, as Hansama might be able to get a big chunk onto this inner turret as well. Zabrov is going to have to ult himself, but that buys time for Hansama to dash on over. Was it all a bait? The answer is maybe. But it is really hard to find the angles, as Lebrov could be a target here. Super sidesteps, Cosmic Binding nicely. Broken Blade able to stand beside them though, as Flash has to be employed to get out of the way of the Tempered Fate. Jojo comes in with the ulti there as well, but doesn't find too much more, as Alvaro in a very awkward position, and Broken Blade, he's got eyes only for Super here as he pushes him towards the blast plant. And I don't, Moen, Moen, are we okay? Okay, well, the Baron is going to do most of the work, killing Moen there as he was looking for a flank angle, but unfortunately MKOI, they had different ideas, and now the Baron is going to get started. Caps walks straight into a large line of rocks though, and the ace in the hole comes on in. Jojo finds the threaded volley, and down goes Caps. MKOI not out of this one yet, as Super is now walking towards BB. He gets knocked up by the Cyclone. Another shove there from Jojo as the magical journey gets him to relative safety. Skewmon goes in just to be the hero, and he fights it! Hansama takes down Jojo, and I don't know how it worked, but absolutely it worked here for G2. Skewmon continuing his onslaught, and Hansama is just clicking on these heads. It's a triple for the Yunara, and G2 just like once again, outcome-focused assessment.
I mean, it was the right call from Skewmon. Everyone on G2 was helping out. He said, I'm going in. Manages to get the flash then out of the damage. And G2, just like that, they turned it around.
Yeah, and it was a mistake from Moen, but I saw the turnaround happening from MKOI. In the end, it is going to spell this inhibitor going down in the mid lane. And G2, I mean, they're moving to about a 7,000 gold lead at this stage. 2 minutes until the next dragon as well. It's a really nice, really nice hat that he's got there.
I like how you are looking at the hat while he has a gun in one hand and a... I don't know what that other thing is.
Oh dear. Well, Moen is dead. Caps is going to chain him up, and Broken Blade going to help set him down there as Weaver's Wall comes on in. They want to try and block them off here, and Broken Blade might be the target, but the Tempered Fate is going to lock down the turret and 2 members of MKOI. So the wall does absolutely nothing. Lebrov is just making them look silly right now as the 3rd Q connects, and the cow is just going to be stake here for G2's enjoyment. Hansama is unstoppable now as they will take down yet another inhibitor. And it's feeling pretty similar to a lot of the other matchups between these two squads in the LEC, as G2 are looking to play with their food a little bit here. Cyclone doing a fair bit of work, but Elyoya is on his fountain with not much more hope other than to try and stay alive and watch his Nexus fall, as G2 are on the board here at Worlds.
G2 woke up and chose violence.
Yeah.
It started off well for MKOI, but Lebrov on the roams, Caps with his LeBlanc, decimating health bars inside lanes and bringing G2 back to this win.
And it's BB for me. Just
true.
It feels so good to see that bounce back after a difficult 0-3 start on the Scion in a difficult matchup there as well. As you can see, hugs all around, as we hate seeing team kills, right? here at Worlds. It feels rough, but G2, they find it once again up against MKOI. They look great while they do it, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the LEC.
Yeah, G2 feeling like they're back to reality. But, Desk, I wanted you to tell me, what is your thoughts on this? Are G2 back and hitting it hard?